I'm Lake County Board Chairman Aaron Lawlor, and I'm urging you to join me in re-electing Mike Nerheim as our Lake County State's Attorney because he's a proven reformer, an innovator, and one of the hardest working people I know. Well, Mike has been an incredible partner to the county board. Our main responsibility is to pass the county budget to fund all of the necessary services in Lake County, and Mike's been creative to find private sources of revenue, to save money through partnerships, and do other things in order to accomplish his goals of making Lake County a safer and healthier place to be with less money. If you look back over the course of his term, he saved about $1.5 million that otherwise would have been spent. I think one of the most exciting examples is the Lake County Opioid Initiative, and Mike brought together volunteers from around the county, its law enforcement, schools, government leaders, nonprofit leaders, recovering addicts, and others, and they've given 3 years of their time to really tackle this issue. And I don't think we've ever seen a collaborative that's been that successful with that little revenue. We don't have paid staff that work on it. It's all people just coming together. And I think he's really done a wonderful job in inspiring people to stay engaged. When it comes down to it, Mike's just a nice, compassionate guy. He comes from a great family, and that's really something that he's carried into office and that guides him as our Lake County State's Attorney. You look at our alternative prosecution program that Mike started that helps first-time nonviolent offenders stay out of trouble. They may have made a mistake, screwed up. They have to admit their mistake. They have to pay restitution. They have to do several other things. But the best way to keep Lake County young people on a track where they're going to be successful is to keep them out of the criminal justice system. And so if we can look at these young folks that may have screwed up and keep them out of that system, I think it's incredibly important to Lake County. And he's the one that came up with that idea. I think continuing the opioid initiative is critically important. We have a crisis on our hands with opioid and heroin abuse, and we need to make sure that we're tackling it from all sides. And that's law enforcement, that's prevention, education, and then treatment. And it takes a lot of moving parts in order to make that happen. It's going to take a lot more resources from the state and federal level, but Mike's been an advocate. He's been down in Springfield working on these types of things, and so we need to keep him there to ensure that we address this issue head on. Another key area is the area of mental health. We have a mental health crisis in Lake County and in our country, and really when we're not serving that population, the severely mentally ill are ending up in one of three places: our emergency rooms, our homeless on our streets, or in our jails, and none of those are good options. And Mike really believes in the opportunity that we have to divert those mentally ill individuals that have no business being in Lake County Jail into treatment programs. I think this is a moral imperative that we need to address, and I think it'll be critical in the next 4 years. A lot of people don't know that Mike operates the civil division of the state's attorney's office. A lot of times when people think about the state's attorney's office, they think about criminal prosecution. But he leads a team of lawyers that really make sure that the agreements that we're entering into in the county board are really in taxpayers' best interest. And that's everything from agreements that impact our water, our sewage system, and other things that do pass on significant costs to our residents. And if they're not done correctly, that's only going to drive cost up for Lake County residents. When Mike came in, he certainly had a full plate. The Lake County State's Attorney's Office has had a reputation that needed to be cleaned up. He's put in place a number of safeguards. He's also solicited community input, really to make sure that everybody has a voice in their Lake County State's Attorney's Office. He's been an inclusive leader. I think he's motivated the staff to think differently and work harder. And at the end of the day, through the reforms that he's put in place, I believe that we're going to see that he's reduced liability in the long run, and hopefully in the future, 10 years from now, when we see him still working on our behalf, that you're going to see fewer lawsuits and things that have really plagued this office in the past.